Greetings, I'm Dev the developer.
And I'm Glitch.
Every selector we have used so far treats HTML elements like individuals. A type selector finds everything of a certain kind, a class selector finds everything with a particular label, but HTML is not a flat list of labeled items, it's a tree. Parents, children, siblings, and combinators are how you write CSS rules that understand that tree. Instead of asking, what is this element? You're asking, where does this element live?
Wait, so we have been ignoring the actual structure of HTML in our CSS this whole time.
Not ignoring it, just not using it. Every rule we have written applies to an element regardless of where it sits in the document. Combinators let you add location to the logic. The first one you have actually been using without a name for it, a space between two selectors. When you write nav A, that space is a descendant combinator. It means find any anchor element that lives somewhere inside a nav element at any depth.
I want to build a navigation menu, something with a top-level list and a nested dropdown. OK, style all the nav links blue, remove the underline. OK, so all 6 links are blue. That includes the dropdown links inside systems. Makes sense.
Now, I want you to make the top level elements display horizontally, like a real nav bar.
Easy, list items inline. How? That made everything inline, including the drop-down items. The system's submenu is now a horizontal row instead of a vertical list.
So you need to be more specific. You only want the top level list items to go inline.
Right, I need the list items that are direct children of the navs list. I'll use the child combinator. The greater than sign means direct children only. Wait, that still made all the list items inline. Why?
Look at that HTML again. Are the drop-down list items direct children of a UL?
Oh, every single LI in the page is a direct child of some UL. The outer ones are direct children of the outer UL. The drop-down ones are direct children of the inner UL. So UL greater than LI applies to all of them.
The child combinator only restricts which parent the element must come from. It does not tell you which specific UL you mean. There are 2 of them.
So I need to be specific about which UL I mean, the one that is a direct child of nav.
So chain the combinators.
That's actually satisfying. The drop-down items stay vertical, the top-level items go horizontal, and I did not touch a single class attribute.
That is the child combinator doing real work. The descendant combinator is broad. Reach into any level of the tree. The child combinator is precise. Reach exactly 1 level down. Chain them to pick the exact depth you need.
Okay, so the space and the greater than sign are both about the relationship between a parent and something inside it. One is loose, one is strict.
Loose and strict. That's a good way to hold it. Now, a completely different kind of relationship. Instead of inside, we are talking about beside, siblings. Sibling elements share the same parent. In that nav, the 3 top-level list items are all siblings. They are children of the same UL. The sibling combinators target elements based on what sits next to them, not what contains them. We need different HTML to demonstrate this one properly. In print design, there is a convention called the lead paragraph. The first paragraph that follows a headline gets treated differently from the rest of the body of the text. It's usually larger or bolder or displayed in a distinct style. It is the reader's point of entry into the story. Magazines do this, newspapers do this, and the reason CSS has the adjacent sibling combinator is essentially this problem. How do you style one specific element based on what comes immediately before it?
Wait, so without the combinator, I would have to put a class on every first paragraph by hand.
Or write JavaScript to hunt them down. The adjacent sibling combinator handles it in CSS with a single rule, the plus sign. It matches the second selector only when it immediately follows the first, in document order, with no other elements between them.
Okay, so only the first paragraph got the italic style. The second and third did not. That is because there is no H2 immediately before them.
Exactly the point. It targets the relationship, this element, immediately after that element. Change the order in HTML and the rule follows the structure, not the content.
And the input plus label thing too, right? The label sits right after its input in the markup.
That is one of the practical everyday uses of adjacent sibling. Form fields and their labels, when a label follows the input in the HTML.
Wait, so what if I put a span between the input and the label? The rule would stop matching.
Immediately stops. Adjacent means the very next sibling. One element in the way and the selector no longer fires. The last one is the general sibling combinator, the tilde. It is the looser version of the plus sign. Instead of requiring immediate adjacency, it matches any element of the second type that comes after the first, anywhere among its siblings.
OH, all three paragraphs get the color, not just the lead, because they all come after the H2 and they are all siblings of it.
Any P that shares the same parent as an H2 and comes after it. The general sibling combinator reads forward through the document. It does not look backwards.
Wait, so elements that come before the anchor are invisible to it. Like if I put a P before the H2, the tilde would not match it.
Combinators only look forward, left to right in document order.
So the general sibling is really about broadcasting a style to everything that follows a trigger. Whatever comes after the trigger element and shares its parent receives the rule.
That's a very useful way to think about it. And that framing points towards something you can do with this combinator that is genuinely surprising.
Wait, so what?
When you combine the general sibling combinator with a state pseudoclass on a form element, you can create an interactive behavior without JavaScript. A checkbox that is checked is in a different state than one that is not. Target what comes after that checkbox using the general sibling combinator. Style it differently based on the checkbox state. The checkbox becomes a toggle, completely in CSS.
An instruction issued once at the trigger point and received by every subsequent element sharing the parent node. A distributed state change propagating forward through the structure without any scripting layer. That is an extremely elegant UI pattern for users to toggle content.
Yes, we'll come back to that properly once we have all the tools for it. For now, space for any descendants, greater than for direct children, chain them to target a specific level of nesting, plus sign for the immediately following sibling, tilde for all siblings, and build a nav with a dropdown. Try to lay out the top level elements without touching the nested ones. When you get stuck on which selector to use, remember, the error usually tells you something true about the structure. Don't just watch it, do it.